this is a surprise. It's been a long time since I've seen water here at the Tulu Lake Refuge. A few years at least, and you could even tell it's been a few years because you got all these shrubs and everything that are just drowning in the shallow water. A lot of ducks, waterfowl swimming as far as the eye can see. So yesterday we had to put down our dog. It's just a little hard to talk about, of course. 7-pound Maltese. His name was Knedyl, and for those of you who've been watching my videos, you've seen him in many of my hiking videos, the earlier days. He was always kind of my hiking companion. From about 2008 to 2020. Although more so in the latter years, just because I was living out of state up until about 2016. But every time I'd fly home and visit, we'd always do some hiking. And this area here was a spot where I took him the whole Medicine Lake volcano area, Northern California. I don't recall if I ever took him here to Arnica Sink, which is what that clearing is straight ahead. I'm just off of a little spur road, which kind of terminates here at this little makeshift camping area. This would have been his environment. They made it to the age of 17, which for a pup his size would have been 84 years old in human years. 17 years and 6 days. And we had to put him down yesterday at 9:05 in the morning. He was just really declining in health. He had what appeared to be a tumor in his brain, and it was causing him to have numerous seizures, and yesterday was just among the worst yesterday morning. And I unfortunately was not able to say goodbye to him when my parents dropped him off at the animal hospital. I think it would have been very hard if I was there anyway. I honestly don't even want to be here. This is one of my favorite areas. At least right now. But I didn't want to be home either. But it is supposed to be the last really nice day, at least I think for the year, because a bunch of storms are going to be coming in, which is why it's pretty windy out. You can hear it through the trees. And it's supposed to rain all for the whole next week, at least down the valleys, which more than likely means that it's going to be a bit of snow up here. I'm just about at 7,000 feet, and there is a little bit of a bite to the air. So I'm just gonna bushwhack up this pumice slope, very easy doable terrain, about 1.3 miles to the top of Mount Hoffman. We'll get started. I'm gonna check out the sink, just walk down a little bit, and then we'll head on up and begin our little trek up. Here's a view of Arnica Sink. See the tip of Shasta. Medicine Lake is about a little over a mile that way. This is the road I came up. I do like the fall lighting. It's very bright because of how low the sun is. It sometimes sucks with my photography, but I've gotten used to working around it. So now I've reached a little bit of the ridge. It's just kind of this gently upslope terrain, and then the final summit area is just a dome, maybe 200 feet above the surrounding area. A lawn chair. Oh, here's the survey marker pointing an arrow to the main survey, which is gotta be somewhere around here. Some old wiring. Oh, 2 lawn chairs. It's too bad they're... No, there's 2 of them. One of them was just split in half. There's the summit marker. Some old cans. You see a silvery glint of Medicine Lake. Shasta as well, getting some cloud cover. And looking kind of northwards, McLaughlin is on the horizon over there in Oregon, looking up into the Klamath Basin. This would be a good spot to camp. 1920. That survey is 1920. That is 104 years old. If there was no wind up here and it was a typical fall clear day, it would be deafeningly quiet. But you could see the clouds. That's the start of the storms that are going to be rolling in starting tomorrow. So I'm just going to enjoy this last view of fall while I have it. You could even see, well, the tree that wasn't in the way in the middle of the screen. Lassen Peak. There's a little bit of haze. I think that's just typical of this time of year. All pieces of wood, you can see people left some signatures on them. MBA. Wish I could read what it said. Alright, pulling up a seat. A little flimsy, but able to sit on it. This register looks relatively new. Yeah, there's really not much. I'm sure there was a much bigger register. It's just these papers. In fact, it says jar broken and no pad, so we'll use this. The paper itself September 13th, 2024. Alright, so somebody was up here very recently on October 20th. That was 6 days ago from Mountain View, California. Alright, there goes mine. I feel a lot better after getting some physical energy getting up here. I don't feel quite like shit like I did getting out of the vehicle. I'm still gonna have many moments of grief. That's just how it is in general in life. Quite a slope of large obsidian boulders. You can see the faces shining off the sunlight. This whole area, Medicine Lake Volcano, is nothing but obsidian and pumice. Very high grades too. There's a big pumice mine, oh, I want to say on the northeast slope of this area. They make the commercial grade pumice soap. They haul it to the stockpile and then it gets loaded onto these train cars and gets sent wherever it goes for further processing. So I turned back onto the main forest road 49 and we're just gonna jaunt over to the lake. Yeah, there is nobody here. It's a whole beach to myself. Is that thing? Yeah, I don't believe in UFOs, but that looks like a saucer. There's just something really very long and linear and it's at an angle. Nice shot of the Milky Way. And there goes the comet. It's a lot dimmer than it was last week. There's a lot of activity out in the sky. I was noticing that as I was photographing. I don't know if it's shooting stars or satellites. They look like very distant shooting stars. The visibility is very clear, and it usually is during the winter months. That's why I like nighttime photography anywhere from October through February, even though it can be extremely cold out. And that comet we won't see for another 80,000 years, and who knows what our planet will be like by then. I'm sure we'll choke ourselves out of existence by that point, after we've cooked our planet full of greenhouse gases. clouds are just drifting right above the top of the lake. It's really cool. I first visited this place back in October of 1999. My folks and I were just newly moved to the area. We were looking at places to explore, and we started off the day visiting lava beds. And I think my obsession for caving was born from that spot. I remember just about every other weekend in the summer of 2000, we'd explore as many caves as we could in the lava beds area. And here I am, 25 years later, still doing the same thing. Because it is rather rainy and miserable today, I think I will spend the day underground. Okay, so here we are. This is the uphill passage, and then this is the downhill approach. So just gotta find a way down, which is right here. So up ahead here is what is known as the Discovery Entrance. I believe this is where the cave was first discovered, was through this skylight opening. You can see the rain drizzle slowly coming down. So this is where I just was. This is that natural bridge, and this is the natural bridge itself. Walking over it right now, and then there's where the cave keeps on going. Looking back out at the mossy entrance, some nice flow lines along the edge of the wall. Alright, so I made it into a bigger room. A lot more mist in here, as you can see with my beam. So this right here is the lower level, and then I actually came from the upper level, and I was able to crawl my way down. Got 5 bats, 4 of them clustered together. So this is looking back where I came from, and then this right here is the true end of this cave. Only maybe a little over 2/10 of a mile in length. Now the back of this cave has this interesting substance. You can see it's this white material crusted on the shelf of these rocks, and it's a somewhat uncommon substance called moon milk. It's one word, moon milk. And when you touch it, it's soft and mushy. It's almost, yeah, there it is, kind of leaving a little white coating on my finger. It looks like a form of mold, which wouldn't be surprising if there was mold in it, but moon milk is really just calcium carbonate, I believe. It just hasn't hardened into anything, so it's just kind of growing on the surface of the rocks here. There's not really much of it. It's just a small little deposit, and I believe behind me there's some more examples of moon milk with a hibernating bat right above it. Heading back now after exploring the lower level. It doesn't go much further than that point, ends in a breakdown chokeout. And directly up above, that's the upper level where I was at. I'll have to go back a long approach around. There's a lot of rat nests in this area. Here we are coming back up to the entrance. I love the layering of the lava. High dune up ahead, that's where I'm gonna head. Should have a nice vista. Long lake in the Sky Lakes wilderness. Come here. Sun is fading now. Oh, there's one ant. Couple frogs. Coming out of the forest. Yeah, I found one ant finally. That's a pretty tall hill over there. ground is still a little wet, so it makes it easier to walk. Come here. Come here, Knedyl. Good boy. Sort of near to the resort. Go, Knedyl. Come here. Good boy. Go, Knedyl. Come. Oh, you stay, Knedyl. Come here, Knedyl. Come here.
Okay, stay close, stay close. Good boy, wow.